Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Red Bull Global Qualifiers. We are tied up 1-1 in this round of 32 matchup over here at the top right side of the map, representing CJTrust. We have Trust. Playing against them down at the bottom left side of the map, teamless but dangerous, it is Squirtle. And I gotta say, man, hell, Squirtle played magnificent last game. Like I said, Immortals, I think, decided that game. Now, the one thing that would have maybe helped Squirtle out maybe just a little bit more is if he had charge, because those ults were really dead weight. They were kind of bobbling around. They were dying before, majority of the time, they were dying before they had a chance to really walk up, but fortunately, because the charge lots aggroed the actual slow zealots, the Immortals had time to pop down all the charge lots from Trust side of things, and you could see they blew up the Immortals. And eventually, they were, to a certain point, it left a very naked army. The Colossus were basically left with Photon overcharge defending them. So, and with that Colossus count and more reinforcing units, just Squirtle was in too good of a position. And maybe Trust could have tried to fight out a little bit longer, but I think the result would have stayed the same anyways. He was down 30 in supply at that point, so it's not, you know, it happens. All right, double gas from Trust. Double gas from Squirtle. We already have a probe going over across the right side. Now going to try to take the cross path. We'll see if he's actually maybe going to go take a proxy, or if he's just trying to take the long way around to spot and see if there's anything that's coming down that side of the map. Because that is pretty smart too, because this way you could actually maybe see if there's any quick proxies, if there's any probes trying to sneak on by, trying to take that little bit of a sneakier route, if you want to call it. So yeah. PvP, of course, on this map is typically a lot more linear, so I expect quicker expansions and robo play. I don't know, Blink isn't really a very formidable style, I want to say, on this map. Proxying too, as well, is not as easy as you would think. Typically, if you proxy, you have to proxy somewhere like right over here at the very top left side of the map, but it's a lot more attainable. When you're not playing on a 3 or 4 player map, it's a lot more attainable, in my opinion. Trust being a little bit annoying, trying to harass a probe right there. Both players still not exactly showing their tech. We do have the Mothership Core coming out from Trust a little bit sooner, and there we go. There's the follow-up from Squirtle as well. I don't know, I'd like to see Squirtle picked up by a team. I'm trying to, that's the thing I was thinking about during the break was, since Squirtle is teamless, what team would really fit him really well as a Protoss player? I mean, again, it's never a bad time to be a Protoss right now on a team either, so a lot of teams could utilize Protoss players, so you look at somebody, I'm trying to look at the foreign scene. I mean, unless EG was, or say Alliance, quote-unquote, was trying to expand their roster, I think he would be actually a decent fit, but you look everywhere else, for the most part, MYI, it's filled up. You look at almost everywhere else, it's filled up. Who knows? He might end up going back to StarTale. He might potentially go back to StarTale. Remember, right now StarTale is actually recruiting players so they can play in Pro League. It could happen. There isn't really a huge amount of top free agents. There's free agents, but the top free agents, there's not a lot of them. Like, you can maybe snipe down some of the Incredible Miracle players. Some of the former Zubu guys, like... We'll see. Alright. Anyways, Trust right now, he's going to be dropping the Blink right now on us, and he's starting to add the Robo as well. Now, this is what I really like about Protoss players that go Blink play, is when they start adding the Robo in as well. Because they're basically double checking and kind of covering all of their bases, because we already saw earlier in this game why Squirtle lost game number 1. He had no detection. He had actually Stalkers at home, which was the good thing because he was worrying about the Oracle, but due to no detection for DTs, he just lost the game outright. Now back on the other side of the map, we do have Squirtle right now. Expansion just about done. Does he have a Robo of his own? Yes, he does indeed, and observers are coming out, so overall, he's opening up very safe, and he should be in an okay position, because after this, yep, I was about to say, after the first observer, we should be seeing Immortals, and he's got a lot of time to produce those Immortals. As long as he just chrono boosts efficiently, he should maybe have 1 to maybe almost 2 out by the time Trust thinks about going across the map. But at the same time, Trust does drop an expansion of his own. Very interesting decision there, with Blink being one of those things that's done for him. Jumps after the hallucinated Phoenix. Might feel a little bit silly there. But hey, you know what? If he can pick off any unit, why not, right? Even if it's a real or hallucinated one. Alright, more sentries getting added on in, more immortals getting pumped out. Squirtle right now should be able to take a worker lead as long as he's pretty efficient with it. He's got some chrono boost that he could utilize from the natural nexus. That is one of those pet peeves that does kind of bother me a little bit. Protoss players that don't use their chrono boost as efficiently as they possibly can. I think that's such a huge advantage to have as a Protoss player, and your ability to, like, you know, get up in worker count, able to produce units and upgrades a lot quicker. That's why you see, you know, Protoss players in a PvT, something like that. They have 3-3 upgrades by the time the Terran is thinking about finishing up his 2-2. There we go. Forge getting added on. Might have a little bit of a scuffle here out in the middle of the map. Actually, one observer will go down. Good snipe. Blink Stalkers will have to just bounce back. They try to pick off maybe one sentry, not able to do so. Squirtle going to take control of the map right now with the watchtower on his side of the map. Meanwhile, Blink Stalkers will sit right now. It looks like, well, one will sit over here at the watchtower at the top right. 4 Blink Stalkers will probably just double check, make sure there's no third base up just yet. Because I have seen that. I have seen some Protoss player be very, very greedy, take a very early third base, and man, if they do not get touched, how awesome is that? Well, they're going to get pushed off for the time being as well. They get a little bit more additional information. Hallucinated Phoenix coming on through. Now, having the Observer is great detection, but man, having those hallucinated units fly around, they could give you so much more information so much quicker. The Phoenix is just, the hallucinated Phoenix itself flies around that much quicker. You're able to cover a lot more space. So much better than the knobs at times. Alright, both players dropping that robotics bay. Trust is about done with his, +1 underway. I wish I had like some fun stories about these guys. I don't though. Because I don't see Squirtle too often. Trust you can most of the time just see him in Pro League, like. But you don't have like any of these like cool like foreigner stories for them. Squirtle though, I would consider in 2012 and 2013 he, or at least at minimum 2012 was one of the best Protoss players in the world. Along with parting on one team, like they really changed up the meta and really were the leading leaders in Protoss play. So when that happens, it is a little bit surprising to watch like a player be teamless like he is. I don't know. I hope he finds a team. I hope he finds a team. He deserves to. +2 upgrades on the side of Squirtle. Or, sorry, Trust. +2 upgrades on the side of Trust. Charge and range. Meanwhile, over here on Squirtle's side of things, getting range. Starting to form Archons, as well as also charge just about done. +2 just getting started right now for him. Trust going to take his third base as well. Squirtle is a little bit up on his macro this game. I will say he's a little bit quicker. He's getting to that. He's making that first step. Oh ho 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 ho! What do we have over here? Warp Prism at the top left side of the map with the results in position. Now, if there's some scuffles that happen out in the middle of the map, man, wouldn't be too bad of a time to drop those zealots right on in here and start harassing away at this Nexus. If he could force a cancel somehow on Trust Nexus, that would be really big for him, actually. Because his is already going to finish up a lot sooner. He's already got a slight worker lead. Worker leads mean quite a bit in PvP, in my opinion. We see, looks like we have about 3 mortals bobbling under all those legs. A couple of Colossus out. He's going to maybe move out. Trust does have to be careful. Actually, both players. Squirtle right now with his army has to be very, very careful. Where's that Warp Prism? There's the Warp Prism. And it looks like he's redirecting it inside the main base. Okay. Or at least thinking about going into the main base. Three more gates getting added on. Another robo by Squirtle, so he's going to probably attempt that double Colossus production as well, on top of the Archons and everything that he's doing. But he can afford it! He can afford it. He's got gas number 5, he's got gas number 6. He's fully saturated, he's ahead in workers. The only thing he's lacking on is upgrades, and he's just about to catch up on that. There's the +2. And what did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? Overgrowth usually promotes a little bit more of a linear game in terms of PvP, so we're seeing that deeper macro. Like, this is mid-game, but like for PvP it feels very deep. It feels very deep macro-ish now. We're seeing a fourth base come up. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is going on here? A little bit of a charge lot pack heading over to the third base. Not going to spot this fourth one out over here. Cannon will delay the attack on the workers just a little bit. This will give time for him to warp in some units. Actually, he decides to just recall on back. That's fine, though. Because while all of this is going on, there's a fourth base building. He'd rather not lose workers. Looks like over here he went for a little bit of harass. Did he actually get any worker kills? He got a few. Looks like 6 total. But that's also, I think he got maybe 4 out of that at most. Alright, Squirtle dropping a little bit of a miniature cannon wall off just to protect this fourth base. Again, versus charge lots, it's only really going to help out so much. Both players on their way to 3-3. Trust a little bit up ahead on that. Looks like it's already halfway done, starting to add some more gates. Finally looking to grab his own fourth base. Now this is interesting. At least to me, this is very interesting because these stages of PvP we don't see too often, and I'm always intrigued by players and what kind of a composition they build up. I'm always interested to see their numbers. Looks like we have about 7 Colossus. We have some Archons bobbling around, about 4 of them. It looks like 8 Colossus now. We have about 3 or 4 Mortals under. We could actually just double check the units tab right now. We have 2 Mortals. Sorry, I don't know where. I swear you had 3, but 2 Mortals down right here for Squirtle. He's got 8 Colossus, which is pretty big for him. 9 total on the map. Looks like the other one just popped out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have 3 Mortals, 5 Archons, 5 Colossus. So overall, actually, the unit count really does, in fact, favor Squirtle. There's a 3rd Immortal, so I guess he was producing an Immortal behind all of that as well. Well, here we go. Units are starting to come up. Archons are forming, and they're getting picked off right under there. Already, the better positioning, I would have to say, goes to Squirtle for the time being. He's starting to break through, but he's got to be careful. He can't get flanked over here. He's got to make sure he's got his units over here in position. He's caught. Oh, I'm so worried right now. Squirtle just heads up inside the main base. I don't know if he can get back to recall. No, not in time. And now a lot of these units are trapped inside the natural, and we could just have an overwhelming amount of units absolutely just wipe Squirtle apart. Just bad positioning, man. It's a really big part of PvP. He got completely flanked. The Colossus were naked. He drops the GG. Trust takes the series 2-0, and just like that,